All right, so the world said it couldn't be done. Wall Street said, it takes 18 months to simply sign a trade deal and 45 months to implement them. Well, guess what? Wall Street and all of the other critics, well, they simply never heard of Trump time. But my next guest, he actually coined the phrase. I'm going to bring in now White House Senior Counselor for Trade and Manufacturing, Peter Navarro. Look at that grin. Look at that smile. Hey, congratulations, Peter. Really, congratulations. I want to talk about this deal with the UK. Tell us, all the nuances, because it feels like it was one of these things where at the last minute, President Trump got on the phone, maybe late at night, and it was done. Walk us through it.
Well, Charles, suppose like last year I told you that on Victory in Europe Day, VE Day, we were going to have the first great new trade deal of the Trump administration. After Liberation Day, you would have said, huh? Well, that's what happened today. It's VE Day, and it's symbolic. I mean, think about it, Charles. Today is a great day for the world because it was 80 years ago where it was the UK and the US of A that liberated this world from Nazi oppression, and this deal is basically the first step we're taking. It's a big step towards stopping all of the cheating of foreign nations of this country. Right. Now, what's in it for us? I'll be dancing a little bit in Wisconsin and California, where all the dairy cattle are. Where all the dairy cows are, and then the cattle, we got Texas, Nebraska, we got Kansas, good for that. We got all the corn states. Iowa's going to benefit from more access for our ethanol. There's plenty of good stuff in here for Britain as well. With respect to the auto tariffs, They're going to get a discount down from 25 to 10% for the $8 billion of stuff they send us. And it's the kind of thing, if you look at this, it's the template for what we're going to do.
Right.
Jameson Greer, as the USTR, along with Howard Lutnick, work from these verticals. It's the tariffs that they stick us with, the non-tariff barriers, the digital trade, and the other big box of other kind of crap they do to us.
So let me jump in here, Peter.
And we take them one by one, and we get good stuff.
Peter, let me jump in, because what I love about this deal is that you zero in on non-tariff barriers. The naysayers are saying, well, the tariff level wasn't that high anyway. Let me tell you something. These non-tariff barriers are worse than tariff levels, and they're crazy, and no one even understands that. I don't think the public really understands how tough they are to do business with all of these countries. It's just not tariffs, but the non-tariff barrier part of this, I think it stands out big time.
The big picture, and that's just such an astute observation, it's like fingerprints. Every country is unique in the different ways they screw us. The worst part of the tariffs is India. I call them the Maharaja tariffs. But all these other countries use these non-tariff barriers. For example, in the ag sector, they have these things called phytosanitary standards, which basically says that if you have GMO corn, or if you don't meet a certain level of this or that, you can't sell us your pork, your beef, your chicken. And that's the way they do it. And they're effectively export bans, which you're absolutely right. That's far worse than a tariff. These technical barriers to trade, it's like in Japan, one of the reasons, many reasons we can't sell them autos, is they have what the president calls the bowling ball test. It's actually a human impact test, right? They run a test where what happens if a car hits a human and the head falls on, and they simulate the human's head. They use something like a bowling ball, a heavy ball. It's crazy stuff. So I mean, but I think the point here, Charles, the one you make, is that we're attacking all the different ways that the nations around the world are taking advantage of America, and we're going to use tariffs to unwind that. And so we still maintain a 10% global tariff, which is good. We have a template for the rest of the world to follow. And I can assure you, Charles, there's going to be many more deals to follow.
So on that note, President Trump mentioned Boeing by name. Which, by the way, people should understand, aircraft parts are our largest export, and China talking about not wanting to take them. I thought that was brilliant to bring them up. We're hearing about all these other countries and all the potential deals, but I want to ask you from the corporate America point of view, how many U.S. corporations are talking to the White House about this? Like, okay, we want to help you, we want to benefit from this.
By the hundreds and hundreds. I mean, the president, one of the things I love about the boss is he gets people sitting around a table. They'll either come into the Oval Office or Roosevelt Room or get them over the East Wing, depending on how big the crowd is. And he listens, Charles. That's the beauty of this president. He listens and then he helps. I mean, the whole adjustments we made, for example, to the auto parts with the interim break we gave them was in response to audio executives coming in and explaining how much time they needed. So he's talking to people every day, either in person or on the phone, listening to their needs. And Boeing, we're going to take good care of Boeing. I mean, that's our national champion in the aircraft industry, and you know who's been picking on them. But you know what? Boeing, as soon as China wouldn't buy their aircraft, India's buying them. Now Britain's going to buy them, and it's going to be a world in which everybody's going to be better off with a structural realignment and an international trading system that is fair. And that's all what we're about. And I'll tell you, I mean, the market, last time I was on, the markets were down, I said, hey, you don't lose money unless you sell.
Sure.
And we're way off those lows. And we're, I'm 50,000 on the Dow. We're going to get there, and it's going to be good for Wall Street and Main Street.
You hit on something I want to add, that when you talk about Churchill, VE Day, and the symbolism of that.
Yes.
This morning, President Xi of China touted how close their relationship to Russia is. Now, the way I read that is that no other nation is running into his arms. Remember, they put out there last few weeks, hey, come to China. China looks isolated right now, and in my mind, that helps you guys close this deal sooner rather than later. What do you think?
I think that even if China weren't involved in any of all of this, we'd still be doing what we're doing with the rest of the world, which is leveling the playing field, and we have these deals. I mean, it's in the interest of every country that has been taking advantage of us to now come negotiate a way to treat us better, because they understand we're the biggest consumer in the world. They need our markets.
Sure.
And in exchange for that, they need to give us fairness.
All right.
With respect to China and Russia, I mean, look, Russia needs to be really careful there. Siberia, which is, I think, the biggest landmass in the world, has a wealth of resources there. And right now, talk about an illegal immigration problem. Russia's got its own. It's the Chinese are taking over Siberia, taking over all the minerals and mining there. And Vladimir Putin's got to be very careful on his flank.
Yeah. Hey, I got less than a minute to go, so I'm going to kind of squeeze something out of you here. Give us a timeline. You don't have to give us the country. When can we're spoiled now. Can we get one next week? Can we get one of these at least one a week?
Well, let's end this where we started. I did coin the term in Trump time. It means as fast as you can go without screwing it up. We're not screwing it up, and you're going to see deals. It's like you go in the deli and you grab one of those numbers, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what all the different countries are doing, getting in to see Jameson and Howard and cutting these deals. So it's all good, Charles. And before you had on those guests with the Made in America stuff, this is where we're going in this world, and it's a great thing, my brother. It's always a pleasure to be with the great Charles Payne.
Same here, Peter. Thank you so much, and congratulations, man. Really, thank you.
All right, my brother.
All right.